follow the rivers.
We floated in the
And
river.
where did you start? Say that again. Where did you start? You started in Tennessee?
Chattanooga.
Started in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
And then went where? I missed it.
And went down the Tennessee River and hit the Ohio River. Went down the Ohio River and hit the Mississippi. And went down the Mississippi to Memphis in a
Wow.
canoe.
But what did you
That's
eat?
Bob Stokely and you, huh? At age 16?
I mean, can you
Huh?
imagine?
How old
these
were you?
days?
16?
Oh, about
I was
15 or
14.
16, something like
Wait,
that.
how long did it take you?
You would never go.
It was over a month.
But what did
Wow.
you eat? What did you eat?
The farmers along the river plant the first 2 rows of their garden, of their crops
Okay.
for the people on the river. And you
Wow.
can go and pick the first 2 rows, you can pick anything that's in there, but don't go past that.
Amazing.
And then we would see a lot of course, we would not only see, but meet a bunch of fishermen.
Oh,
And they always gave us fish. And we had fish, and we had stuff off of the side of the river, which is corn, watermelons,
imagine it.
and things, stuff like that. And sometime they would plant a garden with was like squash and that kind of stuff.
Could cook it.
And we would take it enough to last a couple, 3 or 4 days as we floated down the river.
Did
And
anything dangerous happen?
a couple things that were quite dangerous. And my guardian angel was with me for those couple of times. But well, there was a couple of times that I was very fortunate to get through it. But
Girls, no communication.
I had a guardian angel taking care of me, and I got through it.
And Papa, how did you keep communicating with your mom?
I would, at the cities, we would go in and I would write her a letter that we were on the river and everything was okay.
Wait,
But whose
Your poor mom.
idea?
Huh?
Whose idea did you and Bob just decide we want to canoe the rivers?
Yeah,
And your mom said yes.
she said okay.
Can you?
How
It
to
would
say-
remember it your whole life because it shaped you.
Yes.
I mean,
And
surviving that.
The first 100 miles or so on the Tennessee were dams, and it was like a lake.
Right?
And we would be out paddling across the lake, and the Coast Guard would come up and take us aboard and give us lunch and all that stuff, and a bunch of comic books to read going down the river.
It's just a
And-
different time.
We went through the first lock.
That's what it. Tell them what a lock is.
We had a mower. We went in there, went down the lock, and got out.
what's a lock?
And right below the lock,
It's a dam.
there are waves
Yeah.
higher than this room, right below the lock. We got in those and we say, we're not going to do this again. So when we would get to a lock, we would wait till a barge came through, and then we would put our canoe on the barge and drop with him and get below the great big waves and then take it off.
So what a lock
But-
is it's a place where they fill it with water. The big boats come in. These are big boats like barges and stuff, and then they drain the water out down the river. And so at the level goes down,
Oh, yeah.
and then they open the gate and the boat can go out. But all that water draining
Oh, I
out,
learned about that this
water's coming out through the dam. So, yeah.
Makes a big wave right below it. And we luckily got through one of those, And we said, well, we're just going to catch a boat next time. And but it was very interesting because, like I said, we'd be out in the middle of the lake rowing across it. Coast Guard would come up, take us on board their boat, give us lunch or dinner, and give us a bunch of comic books and stuff like that.
What a sweet people.
We saw the rain coming and we got over on the beach and turned the canoe up and got up under it. And the Coast Guard came over and said, "Are y'all all right?"
Aww.
And yeah, we're just staying out of the rain. But
Wait a second.
it was a,
Papa, what were the dangerous things that happened on your trip?
what's that now? What happened on?
What were the dangerous things what happened on your trip?
The dangerous thing was on the river, they have these big, like tripods, across, not across the river, but at big bends.
Right?
And that's to either slow the river down or do something, I don't know. But we came around one and there was one right there.
Ooh.
And we had to go through it. And that was very dangerous. Our guardian angel was with us because it was with these things hitting. And that was the dangerous thing. And the other dangerous thing is to be too involved in your comic books when you're going down. And on the river, there are big whirlpools
Oh, yeah.
like this.
Oh,
And
yeah, no,
what you do is you
actually,
come in and you'd hit one of those and then you'd paddle like heck to get out,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't get in that thing. And the dangerous thing we did, we got too far in one of them, but we managed to paddle like heck and get out of it. But those are the only two times that we had any problem at all. We slept on the banks. There was one time when we were sleeping on the banks, and they raised they closed the locks down below or whatever, which caused the water to come up,
Oh my gosh.
and we kind of woke up and there our boat was floating down the river.
That was,
So we had to swim to get. But other than that, we had no problems at all. And we,
You were tired like I can only imagine that as a 16-year-old, you were so tired that you could sleep on the rocks, right?
and we had I want to say a great time. The fishermen, we would see the fishermen would come over and give us a bunch of fish and stuff and talk to us.
Aw.
And
I guess it's
a lot of the fishermen had never seen a canoe before.
Oh, okay.
So
Interesting.
they wanted to look at the canoe and that kind of stuff.
So, how did you get the canoe? Did you buy it or did you make it?
Oh no, my daddy bought it for us.
Your dad.
that's what I was thinking, because that
Yeah.
would be considerable money for that time.
Daddy was like, "I buy your canoe. You go out for a month."
Well, that picture shows you how young I was.
Yeah.
You look pretty old for 16.
Well, he's always
They
been
did.
tall.
They always. I mean, way back when.
They do.
Without
No,
makeup, they did because of the way how they dressed, how they had the hair.
That's true.
People look
When you
older.
watch the movies from the 1950s,
They do always look older.
they do.
The young ladies, teenagers,
They
look
have
like
the-
mom hair.
Yes, yes.
That's not.
They were drinking out of one
From the
And-
river.
from the river.
But they
And they-
boil it? They
they-
boil
huh?
it?
Huh?
Do they boil it?
No. And we
But you should.
we got it and put pills in it.
Oh, they had pills. Like
But-
chlorine
Who knows
pills.
what was
They would drink it just, they had two big wash tubs. And one was settling and one was they were drinking out of.
Wash tub,
And,
like a barrel.
Like when you
Like
have
a
a
barrel?
party
Okay.
and you have it, your mommy has it, Trish, I know.
They're called a wash tub
You put the beer there or the Coke there or water there or whatever.
because
No.
used
Yeah.
to be when the kids your age, when you took a bath, you sat in a wash tub. And so there would be 4 or 5 or 6 kids in the family, right? So you wanted to be the first one in the
Yeah.
tub if you could, because it was pretty dirty by the end.
By the end, you were washing with.
And
That's what we used to do in Arkansas. They had,
And-
they had
Papa.
their 3 boys
I-
to drink it on.
Callie is
bath time,
asking
it was just
what
a tub.
is a wash tub.
Can you imagine?
huh?
It was just a tub.
Explain to Callie what is a wash tub. She doesn't
Okay.
know.
A wash tub is just a big vessel that's about this big and about that deep. Huh?
Made out of galvanized steel, typically.
Yes.
And I swam across the river right above Memphis. I got in the river, and Bob rode the canoe right beside me, and we went across. And when I first got in the thing, you couldn't see the bank on the other side. And then as I swam down the river, the buildings in Memphis became bigger and bigger and bigger.
How wide's the river there? More than a mile, I guess, right? It's
I drifted quite a ways because it took me a long time to swim across that.